Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome back to Zwift Community Live. We are all set here for another KRT Racer Focus this morning. Starting a little bit earlier before the race to highlight an important part. Just trying to highlight an important part of racing here, which is the warm-up. Generally, I get started at the very last minute and don't always get a warm-up. It's early in the morning here, so we're gonna just ramp it up, get all the blood flowing to the legs. Really an important thing to remember, and I'll talk a little bit about the race that we've got today. So I did about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes in zone 1, and then you just sort of ramp up through the remainder of your zones, and you actually do some harder efforts in there just to make sure the systems are in order. I also want to take the opportunity to wish our Zwift Community Live production manager, Johnny Noblet, a very happy Cake Day. It appears to be his birthday. So if you get the chance, go ahead and let Johnny know that we're happy for his special day today. So in about 9 minutes, we're going to be joining the event, heading over to the pen and getting started with the race. Today it is 4 laps of the hilly reverse, so that is about a 6.5 mile it's a 6.5 mile course, and you go up a hill. The front bunch of this race is going to be going over that hill every time. Each lap they'll be going over in about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, which is quite the pace. So that's one of the reasons that I want to be as warm as possible here as we prepare for the event. It's also cold for the first time. I leave my windows open to make sure it's cool in here, and it's below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Looks like we're just jumping on the back of the CHR. Here's their racing. So we won't get too involved, but yeah, so you can see I take advantage of this hill on the flat route, kind of work up through the zones. I'll probably settle back into tempo here, just tapping out the warm-up right now, getting all set for the race that is to come. And you basically want to give yourself like a good opportunity to break a sweat. So you don't have to worry too much about the science and getting through zones and stuff, but I always find that right before you break a sweat, you're kind of uncomfortable, right? And your body sends signals to yourself and signals to your brain, and you're just thinking, ooh, that feels weird. So you want to get that out of the way before you start your racing. So that when you do get into the high intensity of the race, you are not thinking about anything, you're just doing. So, speaking of thinking, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I am watching the comments here on Facebook. That's where I'm focusing these days. But we are also live on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. So you have your platform of choice. So today's race, like I said, goes over a hill. It's a steep one. Because it starts really steep, but then it ends up flat. And they just go so fast. So my goal for today's race is to try to demonstrate the drift back technique. Again, I'm not racing yet, just doing my warm-up, which is definitely an important part of racing because we start fast. Let me just get some quick zone 4 stuff. Click down the block here, push it a little bit. But the goal, the racing technique today that I'm gonna try to embody, at least in the first lap when there's a fast pack, is the drift back technique. So what I'm gonna try to do is do whatever it takes before the base of the climb to get myself to the front of the pack. And since I'll be at the front, I can go a little bit slower. But if I'm at the back, I have to go the same speed as the guys on the front, which I know I can't do. So today we will try that out and see how we go. So I did my warm-up. That's gonna save a fit file to my Zwift profile, and then I get credit for that time that I did in that TSS. Brian says he's not feeling it today. That's my teammate. He's over on Facebook here. I don't believe him, but the biggest thing that I'm trying to get in my racing right now is there's no point in trying to win, because I weigh 200 pounds, I weigh 91 kilos, so it's just not really in the cards for me to go over this hill with these small guys. So what I'm trying to do is just to stay on it, stay on the pace as long as I can, but then once I do get dropped, I'm not going to just flail off the back and go into a corner and pout. I'm going to try to stay on at a sustainable pace for the remainder of the race. This is going to be about a 50-minute effort. So sort of the average KISS race duration here. But yeah, we do start out pretty quick. And I definitely achieved a positive outcome from that warm-up. With 2 minutes to go, I have a little bead of sweat, so that means I'm beyond that level of just sort of basic anatomical discomfort, which sometimes gets to me. And then secondly, I've definitely got some blood flow to the legs. I find that if I don't warm up, I often have a lower cadence throughout a race. So, Zwift Community Live, thanks for joining. We're here with the KISS America's AM race. I am racing. My name's Ian Anderson. This is a KISS Racing Team Racer Focus. We're gonna stay on me today, stay focused on me. And it might just involve no man's land, which is something that people sometimes don't like about Zwift racing. But as we get more people through the Northern Hemisphere winter, that'll become less of an issue. There'll always be a group to drop back to, so you can still at least ride with other people. We have a staggered start today. And that means we're all going to be staggering at the end of this, but no, actually it just means that the A category starts first. So those of us with FTP of 4 watts per kilo and above will be going first, and then we'll be followed by the B, C, and D categories. Just kind of keeps everybody separate. There's positives and negatives to every style, but this is how we're doing it now. We've got so many in this group. 22 seconds to go, so in about 10 seconds I'm gonna get on the pedals a little bit, and then I won't be able to talk as much for a while because we have to go into the Essies, which is a very technical section. It involves a lot of hills. So here we go. We got several guys from the KRT in the group. Hodges. We got Cartwright. Zund. I know that Jerome Marriott was signed up. And yeah, like in the tour you have protected riders and they don't do any work. Well, in Zwift, like our chosen guy is probably Tim. He's gonna do a lot of work. He might even drop back at points to tow us back on and then still go for the win. This is the first hill here. You can see in the top right corner, gradient is increasing. So there's no sitting in really in Zwift. So you might as well just add that little bit of energy so that you can maintain position. Position is important. Turning off my graph. I don't want to know. It's all red right now. Pretty good so far. Sometimes I try to get a rest, which is just generally a bad idea. No resting. Oh, Verducci. There's a couple places to rest. And even though there's downhills in here, you gotta keep pedaling. I'm getting swamped a little bit. One more hill, and then I'm gonna get about 10 seconds to rest. And it's not here that I rest. It's here. Once you start to accelerate again, down the other side, it's when you want to take a little pressure off. And look, I gained 1 heartbeat, 2 heartbeats, went from 168 down to 164, but through the Italian village coming up, We of course have some more hills that people often forget about. 3 drafting boosts in a row. That's better than a plus sign. You can get points, you can get power-ups. I done got me a power-up. So that means the likelihood of me getting one again is low. Hey Russell, I'm full water. All I'm drinking is water. Russell's asking if I do water and an energy drink. Here's water. I'm also fasted. I never eat before these, which has some positives. There's less volume to vomit at the end. I've never actually vomited, but I got pretty close. But the downside is that you race the way you train. You're not going to go to a big outdoor event, a sportif century, a crit, anything about an hour in length or more. You're just not going to go fasted. So if I had an 8 a.m. race today, for example, it becomes really hard for me to eat before the race, because every time I Zwift race, I don't eat. So you race the way you train. Just something to think about. Even though we're inside on Zwift, you can really get immersive. With the experience. All right. 6.5 minutes into the race, coming up to the berg. Tim's in the back. Like I said, the goal is to try the drift back. So I need to get up there. I'm a little bit too far up. I want to slot in that second wheel. Here's the start. We'll see how this goes. All right, we're good. It ain't over yet. Not bad. Very slow time. These boys had way more in them than that. Hey Scott. Yeah, I did all right that time. So one lap, taking about 12.5 minutes. I think Tim's attacking. Somebody just took a flyer, I don't know who it was. But now we gotta go through the Essies again. So that's gonna be zone 5 and 6 for me. Hopefully I can get some recovery in. Before we hit that berg again. Again, I just don't want to be too close to the back. This area up ahead here is notorious for the false flat steering effect. See how we're all on the left? Some guys are over on the right, and then they don't get the draft. I mean, it feels like you're not in the draft. I don't know what's actually happening. Wow. Another power up. See how I'm on the right? I don't want to be on the right. But that's where everybody else is, so it's okay. There goes Timbo. Timbo slice. Here we go. So Tim there, it's about to get real hard. Somebody will chase. It won't be KRT though. Thanks for joining Swift Community Live here. KRT Razor Focus. Answering your questions and comments on Facebook.com/Swift Community Live. It's a messy sport. All right, finally my luck has run out. This is a community organized race. We're doing 4 laps of the Watopia Hilly course. We're in reverse. Tim is off the front. The one and only Tim Cartwright. KRT back in the bunch. It's the KISS Racing team. We're just gonna mark anything that goes off. Looks like nobody is feeling good enough to get up there. We got a little bit of an incline here. Just got to stay on the pedals here. Give us some love on Facebook. Drop a comment. Leave a like. Follow our page. Swift Community Live. Basically, guys, I'm looking for distractions. I want somebody to distract me so I can use it as an excuse. It's about to get brutal in this race. See Jerome doing his duty out there, just marking everybody. Tim doesn't need any help, but it's fun to imagine that we're helping him. When you have a good goal like that, the pain just drops away. You don't worry about that stuff. Got to be able to breathe. Yeah. That was hard. Hard. Halfway done. No looking back. No looking forward. It's just right now. Here on Zwift Community Live. Getting up to 179 beats. Live. In front of you here. We ain't holding back today. It's getting nasty. It's getting nasty. Here we go. Recovery's good, but my leg hurts. Yeah, Henry, I'm on a kicker, but my power's coming from power tap pedals. Yeah, Aaron, it's painful. It is quite painful today. 200 pounds of carcass going over that hill with these guys. It ain't as fast as it used to be in the past couple weeks, but I'm happy. I gotta stay focused here though. Too late. Oh, there's Tim. I don't know what happened. He's messing around. He dropped back. He had a good break. Maybe he just had to go to the bathroom. Got a group of D's up here. $91 kilograms. .193 centimeters tall, 6'4". Tim already took a flyer, Richard, and then I think he had to go to the bathroom or something, so he stopped, waited for us. I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's method to the madness. Oh, just felt the twinge in the right leg. I think we need to get everybody to slow down. Yo, everybody, slow down. I'm just kidding. There's no babysitting in kiss racing. See, like I said, I got a warm up in. So now when I'm at 80 cadence, it feels slow. And when I don't warm up, 80 feels fast. So I know the biggest hitters aren't all here. I mean, Tim's here, and there he goes again. But every race always slows down. So you gotta just stay in until it does. Single file, lap 3. There it is. All right, so I'm popped. Made it up the hill twice. I don't need Lil Jon shouting at me in my ear. Yeah. Richard's asking if it was harder on the first two. I'd say, but not that much harder. I just can't do like 6 watts per kilo for 3.5 minutes. Like some of these guys. So, to get over with the bunch twice, even though it was a slow time, I'm happy with. Oh, yeah, and when I get dropped, a lot of people leave in the stream. But just to rehash, if you watch the video on demand later, you'll see we went buck wild on laps 1 and 2, and I stayed with it. A lot of times on this course I get dropped first time around, or very soon thereafter. So to make it all the way to the base of the climb on the 3rd lap is an improvement. Just happy to be able to ride my bike today. Which is a great mood change. Richard, I'm still good. I can still see it here. But yeah, I mean, when I wake up, usually I'm not really feeling it, not feeling like getting on. But because I have this community here to push me, I get on. And how do you feel after you ride? Usually pretty good. Hey, Peter. Oh my goodness. So yeah, let's chat. Let's hang out. Ask me any questions you got about Zwift racing or whatever. We're still focusing on the race. I'm in zone 2. I broke the rules. I said I was not gonna just tail off, but what I did do is a couple times there I really dug when I was close to the back and fought my way back on. So I'm happy with that. Happy with that performance. Because sometimes when I see it happening, I think that some magical, like, magic wand is gonna come up and like pull me back into the group, but that doesn't happen. Oh man, I'm starting to twinge a bit. Yeah, Richard Law is asking about the first couple of laps, and I don't know. I don't know if they were harder than that one that I got dropped for everybody, like what the pace was, but it certainly was harder for me the third time. The first 2 laps we went up in about 3:55, which is slow for these races. Sometimes we get up there in 3 minutes 40, and 3 minutes 40 is just, I'm basically doing like a lead out for a sprint for the first like 300 or 400 meters up that hill, even half a K. So when I'm doing that kind of power, it gets my heart rate up to like 176, 177, way into the red. Well, I don't even know what the red even means, but you can't do that a lot, or I can't do that a lot, indoors at least. And then I just hang on for the rest of the climb. And I usually get dropped right about here because I just don't have the recovery. My legs are full of lead right now. I'm gonna make sure that I come in front of Domestique, who's closing the gap on me pretty fast. He's 2 minutes, 23 seconds down. So a lot of times, like, you are in a pack, right? But tactically, at least, these races are a lot closer to cyclocross or mountain bike, where it's just hard out the gun, and then there's critical points on the course. If you're out of position or out of fitness at those points, then you're gonna be in trouble. So yeah, that's really what it is. Like, in mountain biking and cyclocross, there isn't really a lot of sitting in. Where in road racing, if you're like in a crit, yeah, you're sprinting, you know, every 15 seconds or so. But you also get to stop pedaling completely. And if you stop pedaling completely in Zwift, you just stop. Even if you're in the group. So that's what we're dealing with in racing. There's definitely some team tactics. Like, you don't want to chase down your teammates, but there also isn't somebody like on the point of the group, you know, like setting the pace. People just kind of blob together, and when you're in the pack, it's just sort of arbitrary. Domestique's closing me down big time. Oh, that's got to be really tough. Tony Cope talking about being lightweight on the flat. So he weighs 68 kilos, and he's about a 4.0, 4.1 rider, he says. So on the flat, he's doing like 250 watts or something. And big dogs like me are doing like 350. 360, and he's got to put up with that on the raw wattage side. So everybody's got their strengths, and you got to use those to your advantage, just like racing in real life. Thanks, Pete Donahue. Team Zwift Fitness over there. Recently featured on the Zwiftcast. Oh man, 3.8 to go. I'm trying to just ride tempo here so that when and if Domestique catches me, I can ride with him. Florin. Florin, you're always coming up with excuses for why I'm faster than you. I'm just kidding around. Florin and I have been riding and racing on Zwift for a long time. He's over in the Facebook comments now. Thanks, Gary Hill, for the ride on. But yeah, Florin and I going for a long time. Florin knows his stuff. He knows how to go up Box Hill like a madman, which is not in my skill set. This course used to be one of my favorites to race because there was a hill and it was one that I could stay with people on, but now that there's a pretty intense draft effect, it seems, the blob as we call it, and then there's guys doing like 6 watts per kilogram on this hill. It means you really got to stay with them, because once the blob get away from you, it really takes you a lot of effort to catch back. So that's just something to think about, how the racing has changed over time. But I remember back in 2015 racing up this hill with West Coast Wes Salmon, Jonathan Lemon, and one other guy. It was Halloween, so we were all, our avatars were skeletons, and I went up with them. It was a 5-lap race. It was ZTR. And yeah, back in the day, the races were always a little bit longer like that. And I remember going up the hill in 4 minutes and 20 seconds roughly. I'm just feeling absolutely flogged. But those races with just a couple guys in your group, or a couple people in your group, excuse me, are the best. It's like a breakaway. Breakaways are so much fun. Why does Zwift change the drafting? Well, they haven't actually changed the drafting for a year. Since October 2016. But my theory is that there's something going on with the database, and it's not even their fault. Just the way the data gets to you and the speed it gets to you. I've written a few posts on various groups about it. I don't know anything about internet architecture or networks, but like in cycling, you're making judgments on what you see, and everybody doesn't see the same thing on their screen, so it just compacts the entropy. There's more and more entropy or chaos. There isn't one set reality. So people are reacting to that. All right, guys. gotta stay away from Domestique. He's coming fast. He's putting it down. He's hammering. Yeah, Basso's cute. That's what they say. Hey, Frankie Timmons. It's my man. Frankie's an ox. He's really strong. He lives nearby. He's won a few time trials this year. His wife supports his racing, goes racing with him. Really cool group of people. He's a big dog like me. He's got some huge raw power. So yeah, we're just coming into the finish of this race. I got dropped in lap 3. There's Richard Law, an upstanding PTZ chap. He's been around for a while as well. So again, just trying to stay in zone 4 here, keeping it honest. Stay away from Domestique. 1 mile to go. Matt Brewer pushing himself, doing a big ride here. Matt self-upgraded to the C category, which is awesome. Gotta push yourselves. You know, if you get that win or feel like you're on the top end or there's no one to ride with, just take it up a notch a little bit. You can't fail. Hey, Frankie. Yeah, man, I got dropped. We were going not too fast, but some people were probably getting queasy looking at the watts there because I was rolling like 500 for the first K, and then I'm recovering at 380. But 205 pounds, 193 centimeters. That's 92 kilos, 6'4". So I have a lot of frontal area in Zwift, affects the drag, and then the weight affects the climb. But I'm happy I kept away from Domestique here, chasing. That's okay. You get into these little mini races and you just gotta fight on. You feel much better than if you give up and get cranky. Yeah, Richard, I know how you feel. Richard upgraded to A recently or earlier this year, and now it's all about trying not to get last, which I understand. I understand very well. On a flat race, I will still get pushed to my limit a lot. And so those tend to be ones where I can stay with the group, but I'm on the rivet a lot. And then once we get to the last K, like guys are just dropping like 7 watts per kilo for like a whole minute and a half. And I just can't do that after an hour at threshold. All right, I'm confused. Race over. There's no finish board anymore for the KISS races. It's because they're not always accurate. It's that network issue I was talking about, where everybody sees something different, so the results get put up based on what your computer sees. But that might not be what the Zwift Power computer sees. So there can be discrepancies, so we're just trying to cut on the screenshots. People take a screenshot of the results and they're like, it doesn't match Zwift Power. But you gotta have one eye, and the Zwift Power server is the eye. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll cool down for a little bit here. I started early, I'm tired. 54 minutes, not too bad. Not too bad. 2 weeks ago we were doing 12-minute, 18-second laps. And today we did about 12 minutes, 20 seconds. And then on my own I was a whole minute or two slower. So it's just, yeah, the draft really helps you, so you want to stay on those wheels. Have a good day, everyone. Yep, thanks, Richard. Something wrong with your power meter, can only see 3 digits. Well, that could be either way, Carl. I don't know if you're joking about me not dropping 1,000 watts there, which I can do, but or if you're joking about it being so high, one way or the other. Nothing's wrong. I'm on the Power Tap pedals. I do like them a lot. I've had a lot of success with them. But yeah, let's check on the graph. Let's just sort of show what racing's all about. I'm just going to change the screen here so that we can see what it looked like going over that hill a couple times. So yeah, this is just your ride summary screen, so it'll show you where you went, who you rode with, and your timeline. You can see here, first lap, we did pretty much like, I don't know, 3 miles or so, all in the red. That's all the Essies right there. Yeah, a little tiny break. As you can see, I'm just sitting at my threshold heart rate here for the first few minutes. Then I get a chance to recover, and then we go through the Italian village here, and then up into the steep part of the hill. I maxed at 700 watts and was sort of drifting around, came back towards the front, and another hard section. Big rest here. Let me go into the Essies again. Similar profile to the beginning, but now see my heart's at 170, so it's a war of attrition, and I'm losing at this point. Go up the hill again. Almost got dropped thanks to James Hodges, my teammate here, my virtual teammate, and he's the architect of the Zwift Power web interface and data systems, but also a really strong dude. He rode 200 miles on Sunday on Zwift, and he was able to bring me back into the pack here. 179 beats. Whoa. It was hard enough that my voice is cracking now, but yeah, 179 beats per minute. Sitting back on big rest here. Got all the way down to 140 or 155 beats per minute or so. Then we come into the third lap. Hard yards during the Essies. Trying to move up for the hill, but I just didn't have it to get back on. Trying to just stay at threshold, and then a lot of blue and green here. Zone 2, Zone 3, and then finally just trying to stay away. Keep honest. Riding solo there, so pretty good workout. 97 TSS, that's not always accurate, but that's how we do it. So I appreciate you all joining in with us here. Zwift Community Live. Going to be on your screens later on today with the KISS Europe race. That's a broadcast with Nathan Guerra. He is not racing, but he will be commentating on the race. He often covers the ladies only race just before, or perhaps the B category, as well as the top dogs of Zwift racing there on the A category. They'll be doing the same course. You'll see them go really fast, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch. That's today at 2 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. British time, and yeah, just looking forward to having you all there. I'll be hanging out in the chat probably. So it's a lot of fun and can sometimes distract from the office environment. So we'll see how it goes today, but appreciate y'all joining us. We've got a lot more coming your way very soon here on Unsworth Community Live. So stay tuned, drop that like, follow us, get that notification set up. We'll be back very soon. And thanks for watching. Right on.